Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, live on WBON TV Channel 9 and on radio at WEKY, WKXO, and WIRV. Support your favorite teams and sit back and enjoy the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, brought to you by Bishop Small Engine Repair, the Richmond Raceway, the Law Office of Patrick O'Neill, and Nuevo Vallarta. And now, let's go live with your host, Michael Watkins, and Samantha Burford.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome into the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show here live in the studios of Jack Burford Chevrolet. Samantha
a different
Burford.
kind of studio
Yeah,
today.
I like this setup, though, Samantha. It's
I do, too.
A little bit quieter on us, and I like it whenever we're joined by state champions as well.
Me?
I don't know if you ever won a state championship.
No,
or not, but
I didn't. But let me tell you something. Who helped predict that these three
we're
gentlemen
going to have to go back to the tape on that. We're going to have to go back to the – show these guys, Cope. Let's show the champs over here. We got Kyle Congleton, the head boys golf coach.
I nailed it, and I called it.
Yeah, I tell you what. Guys, it's been a couple of weeks now. Almost 2 weeks.
I'm still celebrating.
I know. Well, I'm sure you guys are, too.
I'm still celebrating your win.
Has it settled down a little bit now, or kind of what's the vibe around school? I mean, you just got off fall break, and how's everything going now? I mean, you win the state championship, and the girls really didn't get to celebrate because they had fall break after they won. So what's it like, being back around some of the kids at school, going to football, and out in town, and everybody seeing you as well?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. I don't think they were really wanting to go to school the next day. You know, we got back late, and then they came over, and we had a bunch of food and celebrated that night at my house. And but me and Principal Fritz said, like, tomorrow will be the best day ever. Like, you walk in, everybody's talking to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody's congratulating you. So luckily that we did get them up and get them to school. And I checked on them at like noon that day. I was like, how the state champs doing? And I think they're glad they went. But as far as around town, I mean, me as a coach, it's neat. Again, growing up around here, I know a lot of people everywhere we go, they're congratulating you. Tailgate Saturday at Eastern, I had 2 guys come up and just introduce themselves to me and just tell me how neat it is. They've been around Richmond for 67 years. Just guys wanting to say congrats. So that's what makes it pretty special and neat. And I've enjoyed it. Again, I think this is the first time I've been around the boys since we got back.
First time I've seen you.
Yeah, I mean they've been out of town. They've been playing golf, traveling. Yeah. So I'm glad to see them. We got a busy week together. So I'm sure there's plenty more to come out of it all. But it's definitely not. We haven't celebrated too much as far as together yet. Not been able to.
Now, this is the first championship, right? For the Madison Central boys.
Yeah.
Girls won back, 2015?
Yep.
So what's the plans as far as what's going to happen at school? As far as, I mean, I'm sure you're going to have the big banner. Yeah. You had the police escort in, right?
Yeah, that's really
I think we're getting –
what else is happening?
Going on the football field at some football game. I don't know when.
Yeah, we'll get recognized by the
last home game next
the school.
Southwestern game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll get recognized there, and then obviously the city commissioners and mayor are going to do something for us. Reagan Taylor, they'll do something for us the 28th. Let's see, Jared Carpenter's reached out.
Wow.
We've had some local people reach out wanting to do things. Again, nothing's set in stone through it all, but there's plenty to celebrate in the next 3 or 4 weeks and plenty of recognition for these guys coming up.
Coach, whenever I talked to you that following day, after it had kind of settled down in your mind a little bit, you talked about how it felt when you knew that you guys were going to win. That moment whenever you finally realized, you told one of them that, go celebrate being a state champ, baby, or something like that. But for you guys, what was that like whenever you guys realized it? Man, what emotionally, what were you feeling whenever you knew, okay, we're state champions?
Well, so I was actually the person Coach told, and I was sitting on 18's fairway and left side of the fairway, just hit the shot around the trees and got the big clap from everyone around the green, and Coach goes, go celebrate your state champ, baby. And I was like, wow, it all sank in because, as Clay knows, we came up short last year. And
yeah.
That was a terrible car ride home, and so to get it done was definitely special.
Clay, where were you at whenever you guys kind of finally realized at this moment it had finally kind of culminated?
Well, I kind of knew on 18,
which Clay was one group ahead of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also kind of knew on 18 T-box. I tried not to look at it all day, and then I finally looked on 18, and
we had
an
T-box.
8-9 shot lead. And I don't know, he didn't say anything, but we were just kind of, there's a picture of us in the paper, and we're just kind of smiling at each other, and that's kind of when I knew. But and then we just finished it out. We played 18 pretty well. So
Mason, same for you. I mean, talk about that feeling and just being able to kind of sigh of relief. We're state champs.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a good feeling when you just know you have it, and it was pretty, stress-free walking up the 18th. So that was a really good feeling. It was kind of crazy because Coach kind of said the same thing to me as Warren, but like I was walking up 18 and I was kind of like getting used to feeling that we were gonna win, but also Coach just got hit by a golf ball.
Yeah,
I walk up
you
got hit by a golf ball.
That's a story.
I walk up a fairway and
We ain't
he's
gotta talk about all
just
that
laying on the ground. I'm just like, I think Coach just got hit by a golf ball. I walk up, he's bleeding on his
Oh
head.
my
I'll
goodness,
show you a
man.
picture. It's bad. Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
Yeah.
Who hit you? Was it one of your
So,
players? Was it?
I really hope. I did not want to get talking about that today. It takes away from it all, and it did. I mean, it really did.
Yeah.
But the last group of the day, Mason hits. He's in the perfect in the fairway. I'm like 270 yards out, like 25 yards right of the fairway under the biggest tree on the course, standing with another coach. Once Mason kind of placed it in the fairway, that coach kind of gave me a hug, congratulated me. We literally sit there and had a conversation. We're facing the other way, and through all that of Mason hitting and the last player in their group hitting, no one yelled four, and I just kind of happened to turn back towards the tee box, and it came through the tree and drilled me. I mean, I got a spot on my head, and
Wow.
so it's pretty neat. The trophy right now has my hat on it that's covered in blood.
Oh, that is. Oh,
I'll
that's
show it to
a
you.
cool little
But,
story, though. Yeah.
That
Yeah, I'll
is
probably
cool.
always have this little indentation here. But I mean, it put me to my knees. Like, it
Well-
was scary. Like, everybody, my dad, I mean, he's not the softest guy in the world, but he come out there was freaking out, and parents, that coach, obviously. So it kind of took away from it, and I was able to get it together quick
Yeah.
and enjoy the moment with Mason. We walked up 18 fairway, and I had to put a little ice on it, and then Fritz didn't let me drive the bus home. I mean, seriously, like, they were worried about me.
Like maybe
Yeah,
concussion
concussion
protocol. Yeah.
protocol.
So I mean,
Absolutely.
it was scary, but we enjoyed it. I mean, it was still a neat moment. I just tried to make sure that wasn't taken away from it,
yeah.
and it was. I mean, that's what drove me nuts for a little bit, but we kind of.
Not for long,
No,
like
it
3
didn't.
minutes?
Yeah.
Well, I've
It-
talking
and
to
it might have
coach-
lightened the mood up too. Like, it gave them
Everybody's
probably
real
a little
serious.
like
Yeah.
a giggle.
Yeah.
Actually, like Coach is hurt.
Well, Clay, you've been a part. We'll give the mic back to Clay. You've been a part of this program for a long time. Talking to Coach after it, he talked about how your determination to get this program here is, kind of what set the standard for what you all were able to do. So talk about, that and just how it's been working with some of these guys and some of the younger guys too to get this state championship and bring it back home.
Well, so it all kind of started in 8th grade, which was like my first year, like really consistently playing every tournament. And back then, it just kind of felt like we were just like always in 4th place. You know what I'm saying? And but
We never
and then,
could get it over the
Yeah,
hump back
competing,
No.
but not to where you wanted
yeah,
to be.
and then so we just kind of did that, and then we got a really special team my junior year. Fell a shot short, and I think that's really what, like set up this win this year. Like I just knew coming back we had to work 10 times harder, and that I was not going to let that happen to us ever again. And I don't know, I just kind of feel like I took everybody under my wing and just made them realize how important it was, and that we had to get this done this year. So
Yeah, because you guys have had a great season, but you haven't won every tournament.
right.
So what made you realize, okay, every day, the state tournament's 2 days, right? So
yeah.
what made you guys go, we're going to win this? We may not have won that tournament,
Yeah.
in the region or whatever, but we're going to win this.
Well, it's just different every time you step out. I mean, like sometimes it's just not your day, and
That's
another team will get you, and it's scary to think about that could happen during the state tournament. But we played a couple tournaments at Bowling Green and played pretty well, and I think once the time got rolling around where it was region, semi-state, state time, everybody really got locked in. Where I feel like last year we goofed off a little bit, had a little too much fun, and but this year we really made sure to just lock in and then have the fun after when we got it done. And I think that's what we did. We prepped really well for every tournament, and I felt like we had a good shot to win every tournament we went to this year. So.
Well, you guys, you win the region, but you lose the semi-state over in Winchester. Had any of you guys played Winchester recently
there.
at all?
I played there once, and it was in
I think
the
we'd all
spring.
played there just like a couple times. It's not a
Yeah.
course you play every day.
Yeah, so, I mean, you see that, and then so you kind of know what's at stake there, but you're still able to advance. After that tournament, what were you guys saying to like motivate? Okay, now it's time.
Yeah.
Let's lock in. Let's get this thing done.
Well, we were all like down in the dumps the day of semi-state, and everybody was trying to tell us like, well, you're moving on. That's all that matters. But we had just gotten beat by Pulaski County.
Yeah.
Which
really we hadn't even heard of them.
Yeah.
never
no
heard of
offense,
Pulaski.
they played great.
Right.
Yeah.
But we just didn't think that we were ever going to get beat by Pulaski County. We thought, I don't know, I kind of felt like we'd go over there and just kind of, I don't know, LCA might creep up on us, but we'd get the job done. And I think that was a really big eye opener for us. And like,
We can't just show up.
no, you gotta go work for this. And I think that practice round for that, we kind of goofed off a little bit too, and didn't take it as serious as we needed to be. And coach made sure that our practice round for state was one that we took serious and really prepped for. But getting beat that day really kicked us all into gear, I think. So.
Well, it's kind of like in football. You see an undefeated team make their way through the season, kind of like how Alabama just lost.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a loss they can use to kind of motivate them.
Yeah.
Is that kind of how semi-state was for you guys, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was.
Showed you what you did wrong, maybe that you had to correct going into state.
I mean, and I think Clay nailed it. He said everything perfectly there. I mean, again, in golf, when you're at the top, everybody's going to give you your best shot. I mean, when you're there, they're going to come after you no matter what. And in high school golf, that's how it is. I mean, anywhere we went, we thought we had a chance to win.
Yeah.
We knew we had a chance to win. But there was definitely times where teams came out of nowhere or teams played unbelievable, and our good that day wasn't as good as their good. So definitely I think Bowling Green or Winchester was an eye-opener for us. And I know after that, not even the practice round in Bowling Green, but the whole preparation going into the state tournament we changed our gear. I mean, the hardest thing people don't understand, like, it's hard enough for one kid to have 2 good days. It's hard enough to have 2 kids have a good day for 2 days. But to have 4 of my 5 guys click and have 2 good days, that's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard on a coach. That's hard on these guys to know that they got to go out no matter what. This is the end of the line for us. We've got to go out and have 2 of our best days of the year.
3 top 6 finishes, right?
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, 3 top 6.
Fourth.
Yeah,
I was
so
6th.
4th, 5th, and 6th.
Mason was 5th.
5th, you were 4th.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, and most people don't realize how hard that is to have 3 or 4 guys that click on the same day to get it done. I mean, I know that end of the day, Clay and Warren and these Mason, they're old, they're mature, they know what they got to do. But one bad swing, hey, it can go south quick. And not only that hole, but then mentally you're just beat. And it kind of happened to a few other teams down there. I mean, it went south for them quick on the second day, and they just weren't able to overcome it. So you got to have some things go your way to win a state championship, and you got to have some good things go your way to win anywhere in any sport. It's simple as that. And we definitely had some good bounces. But I tell the guys all the time, if you do the right thing, you act right, good things happen to good people. And at the end of the day, I think that's it paid off for these guys, and it was very well deserved.
That's one of the most. And I've known Kyle for a long time. We played a lot of intramural basketball against each other back in the day. But when I talked to him, the most impressive thing, Samantha, is you could tell he cares about these guys, and he's teaching them obviously the game of golf, but outside of that as well. And I think that's impressive. When I talk to him, it's always about the kids.
That's right.
But Coach, it's not just you and these guys out there on the course as well. It takes a lot of people to make this thing go. You've had a lot of people help support you all this year. You got Grant's Excavating, other places like that have helped you make your way from the start of the year, from the preseason stuff, all the way through the state championship. Talk about that and just how important that is to have that kind of support on the back end.
Yeah, I think me and you've talked about it, Michael. I mean, the journey for a state championship started in October of last year. Yes, we fell one shot short, but a lot of people in this town, like, y'all a heck of a run. Like, what we got to do? Like, what's it going to take to get over the hump? Like, y'all have had a great run here the last few years. I think we had 3 years ago we finished 4th, like in the state tournament. Like, that was a big deal for us 4 years ago. Like, but I've said it plenty of times. I've said it to these guys, and when you feel like you have a town that supports you, a school that supports you, administration that supports you, and there's a lot of people out there pulling for Madison Central golf, you feel like you have a little more chip on your shoulder of, hey, I'm not out here playing to win this tournament. Like, you're out here to represent Madison Central and Madison County, and like you're a standard program that you got to hold yourself to a higher standard. And I tell these guys, you're not an average student. You're not your average kid there at Madison Central. you can't one bad mistake, one thing can mess up this whole ride that we had. And me and Clay, I mean, I've talked to these guys, I preach it, and I know they get tired of me saying it because I say it all the time. But one mistake could have ruined this whole season. But when you know you have people behind you and that are supporting you, it just gives you a little more chip on your shoulder, and you're playing for more than yourself. And I think these guys really bought into that this year. They knew it. I mean, when you sit there and you see these guys, like, yes, you're playing for Madison Central, but these guys are the ones that are willing to do anything in the world to make sure you achieve all your goals and put you in the best position to win. And we felt like we had more support this year. And I know as a coach, I can't thank this community in town enough for everything they've done for me as a coach to give these guys and put them in the best position to win and to be able to go down there and do what they did this year.
I think it's a nice teamwork effort. It seems like because every time we interview you guys, you love your coach. You know your coach loves you. And I think you guys love each other. Yeah. And you can tell. And you can tell it when they play golf, too. I think it's impressive. And you've got some well-respected leaders right here, all three of them. And 2 seniors and a junior that's got to take the ACT tomorrow, don't you? Yeah, we got to get him home to study. I know it.
If you got listen, you'll do better than I did already, so you ain't got to worry about that. But and Samantha, I know I saw on Facebook you're talking about how Jason Eberly and guys like that have done a really good job of helping, you and the girls' side as well really get to where you all wanted to go. Yeah. Talk about that and just how important people like that are as well. So, and I've said it plenty of times, I get way too much respect and too much, at least he's being humble. No, people give me way too much credit now. But there's people like Jason Eberly and Scott Webb, and then there's other players that are people that these guys work with that start these kids out at a young age and give them everything possible to be successful. I work with these guys, and I don't personally work with their golf game much. I don't. I mean, they're so more advanced than I ever thought about being. Like, what would you guys say I am to you? I mean, I give them support. I try to
talk through shots.
Yeah, I mean, I try to just give them the most confidence that I can. I build them up, before tournaments. I build them up when they're out there on the course. And again, as a coach, I'm just trying to make sure that they're getting the best experience as a player. I know what I got as a player. I just try to give that back to them and really just give them the confidence that they need going into a round. But it's people like Jason and Scott, and again, I'm sure there's plenty more people out there that I'm forgetting that have raised these kids, that have worked with them from day one, that anytime we get home from a tournament and somebody's wanting to hit balls or get looked at, they're going to go out there at 6 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock the next morning. I mean, Warren's on Sunday, we get back late at 6, on a Saturday night. Sundays Warren's working with this guy that works with him at 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Man. It takes people like that are dedicated to these kids to do what we did. And from Mason, and then he works with his dad some, like Clay works with Jason out there. Like, everybody is different, but everybody's so bought in on this program and this team, and just themselves. Like, there's not enough time to thank everybody that's put in the time to get these boys where they're at.
So now what happens? I mean, I know we're getting ready for collegiate golf eventually, and you don't know what you're doing. Right?
He's going somewhere. He's not sure where he's going.
He's just not telling us yet. Yes. So, and I'm sure you've already got people looking at you too. So, what's next? You've won state. Now, what happens?
Clay playing basketball this year.
I wish.
Should I?
Yes.
I should.
Come on.
You don't want to mess up your golf shot.
I coached it. I mean, you all coached against him too.
Clay can play some basketball.
Oh, I know.
He tears it up at the.
I triple teamed him, and he still couldn't stop him.
He tears it up at the EKU rec when we all go play.
No, that's a story. Now, I double teamed him, and he didn't score.
Oh,
okay. He still talks about that.
You want to know who he put on me?
Trey Skaggs and
6'9" Malachi Wood.
Oh, okay. All right.
And Trey Skaggs.
Yeah.
Nobody wants Malachi Wood in front of him.
What's about 6'9", and even Trey then was 6'2" probably in middle school. So.
But everybody talks
scored 2 points.
So is it at least up in the air? I mean, is there a chance maybe?
No, probably not.
All right. He got our hopes up.
I hope Coach Fellows was watching.
I'm gonna chill this winter and get back at it next summer.
Yeah, right now we're working on him, Coach. We need some more size. We got Robbie Todd and stuff like that.
No, Coach Feldhouse understands.
Yeah.
He don't want you to mess up your game.
Can't mess with that.
But Mason, what about you? I mean, Warren? What about you? What's the next step for you?
Warren's got a busy schedule.
Yeah, I mean, So I just have a lot of college visits coming up, and then I guess I won't really start tournaments again until February, and then it's just kind of I should know where I'm going to school by probably mid-December.
Okay.
Is when I'll make a decision on that.
A lot of the bigger schools, like, these kids committing, and they're after their junior year, really.
Yeah.
So he got a handful of guys on him.
Pretty ready to make a decision. Just got to go check out some places.
And then Mason's just kind of came on really strong lately, to where he's just now getting people interested in him, and he's got some time to figure all that out.
Well, you're still working on that resume. You can add state champion to it now.
Yeah,
so,
you have time.
It helps.
Yeah.
Guys,
and with the accolades too, you guys are first team all state, and you got second team, right?
Yeah.
So that's impressive. The accolades just
they keep piling
coming
in.
Yeah.
That's the serious stuff. Let's talk about maybe some of the fun stuff. When you guys look back on this year, is there a funny moment? Now, I don't think Coach getting hit with the ball is a funny moment, but
it's not funny.
Is there a moment that you're going to look back on, whether it be in the preseason, last October, anything between then
Coach
and
is getting nervous.
y'all?
There was karaoke, I heard, involved. Some karaoke.
But
singing.
tell us one thing. We'll start with you. Give us one moment that you're going to never forget. Obviously, that state championship moment, but something else that you're always going to remember, a good story you can tell down the line.
Well, I mean, I was kind of thinking of right after I walked off the 18th green at the state tournament, Clay came up to me and gave me this giant hug and knocked me down flat on my back.
With his clubs on.
Yeah, tackled me.
I didn't see that one.
You just went backwards.
Oh, yeah. Just straight backwards.
Clay, have you got a moment like that?
I can't think of one in particular.
That you can tell on
This
air.
is the one they're hesitating on saying. It sounds like.
You should say it.
If it's not bad, I mean, it's not too bad.
Can I talk about Brewster's coach?
Brewster.
The ice cream place?
No.
Okay.
That's off the
I'd
air
have to
one.
just say the car rides though, and just the music we play, and Coach getting mad at me and
Who's the best karaoke singer on the team?
me.
Clay.
Yeah, that was.
Clay leads it.
Yeah.
That was one thing when Fritz. said he was
Randy
on
and
this.
Braden are shy, but I don't know. They kind of get into it, but I don't know. I'm the lead singer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, what, you got a moment? Yeah.
I don't know. I'd say a pretty funny moment was I mean, we had so many, but I'd say when we went to eat at that Mexican restaurant, we just kept telling them it was your birthday.
Oh, wow. I went.
It was hilarious.
Some of y'all can't say that either.
Was it yours? So it wasn't his birthday?
Part of it out, but
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into it, but
They did the whipped cream thing on his face and that's
yeah. I mean, it was funny.
I went back there, said I was going to the bathroom, and got all the waiters to come out and sing to Coach.
Yeah, that's always fun though. Whenever you go to there or Texas Roadhouse, they scream at it. Nuevo does good with that. They're one of our sponsors. You go over there, you get some the whipped cream on your face, and you got to make sure that the person that you do it to though is in a good mood, because if they're already in a bad mood, that just makes it worse.
Yeah,
Makes it worse.
Not
do the
ideal.
whipped cream. No.
I've been put on one of those horse things at
the
Texas
saddle.
Roadhouse.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
You've been put on.
and it wasn't even close to my birthday. It was in the summer. And
Oh my gosh. Well, you got a free dessert out of it at
I
least.
did.
Yeah, if you're watching Texas Roadhouse, we'll pay for it if we got to, but we'll take care of that. But yeah, so obviously, what's a go-to karaoke song? When you guys get in the car, what song are we putting on?
Okay.
We had a lot of CeeLo Green moments.
Yeah, there's a lot.
We'll forget
CeeLo
you.
Green,
Yeah,
I
I
was
don't
not
forget
expecting
CeeLo.
I
that.
would not. I would.
They get old school now. But then there's some songs where I was
Mike
like,
Jones.
Yeah, Mike.
Oh, here we
Yeah,
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
8004.
what song did we listen to the whole way back?
The
Champs
Chant by Nelly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's an old school one too.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Jenna for that one.
Yeah, Nelly's one of my favorites. So it's hard to be country grammar. That's a good one by Nelly if you get the edited version.
Yeah,
And then we'll kind of drift into Drive by Alan Jackson. That's
Okay.
what I always play.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So
car
that's a
rides
good
A
are
lot of
fun.
Tyler Childers.
Yeah.
I'd say there'll be a lot more calm with Clay gone next
Yeah.
Yeah, next year.
been a
next
fun
year's gonna be a
time.
We're
lot
decreasing
different.
every year. Last year it was me,
The
Gavin,
wildest
and
group
Cooper
ever.
was our trio.
I
This
could
year,
see Cooper.
me and Mason were kind of some goofballs, but
Warren
next
sat up
year,
front with
next
me
year
and
they're not
one
going
of
to
the-
know what to do.
Yeah.
What vehicle are you driving?
So we always have the Pendergrass Suburban for
Okay.
option one, but all three times we went to Bowling Green this year, Rodney Davis has like a Sprinter Ford van. Like
Yeah.
these guys can stand up in the back of
I'm
it.
almost 6'5", and I can stand
Yeah.
up in it.
And
Oh,
we
wow.
took
Yeah.
that all 3 times to Bowling Green, and that's why we came back in the state tournament. So it's unbelievable how nice it is. And he takes care of us there with that. But we drove that most of the time. The Pendergrass Suburban club's in the back. 6 of us
Yeah.
in there, fits us well.
Good karaoke machine too, I'm sure.
Oh, it's loud.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
got
a bass,
the
too,
Boast,
yeah.
got the Boast, yeah.
That was unfortunate. The van.
the Ford Sprinter doesn't get wild.
We were trying to get the music up on the escort, the police escort, and just
Yeah, it never
it
did.
did not get up.
It only has like a little sliding door, so they couldn't like hang their heads out and stuff.
Oh, that's true.
But as soon
Yeah.
as we hit as soon as we hit Lancaster Avenue, the door came open.
came
I was
There
like,
you
boys,
go.
don't you be hanging out.
Well, guys, listen,
Everybody get
we,
in the back.
We appreciate you guys coming over.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Keep celebrating. So you're going to be honored at the next home football game against Southwestern. That's next Friday.
Yes.
So we'll be out there, and we'll make sure to give you a little zoom in on the. So is it halftime?
I would
After the
assume.
first quarter,
Again.
somewhere
Is
through
that
there?
senior
Yeah.
night as well?
It is senior night.
Senior
yeah.
night
yeah.
too, right?
Yeah, busy night for you. Are you guys be honored then too? Will the golf team be honored during senior night? Or I know they do fall sports together. No. Okay.
No,
All right.
no. They'll
All
just,
right.
no, just for the state championship.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you coming by. Congratulations once again. Keep celebrating, and we'll see you very soon. Keep working hard, and let us know where we're going. I know you
Will
you
do.
said you think
Will
you're
do.
going, but
Yeah.
let us know for sure when you make that decision.
UK, baby.
All right.
All right.
That's the state
We'll-
golf champs,
we'll
Madison
find out.
Central boys. First
I'm gonna
time
guess
ever.
U of L, because he keeps nudging him like.
Yeah,
U of
Clay,
L.
Clay's trying to get him to come.
Yeah.
Dynamic duo back together once again. So,
Go to UC, hang out with
That
Elizabeth.
is a very high potential
Yeah.
for Louisville.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate
Thank
you joining us, guys. We'll take a short commercial break, and we'll come back. We'll talk some high school football. All 3 of our coverage area high school football teams picking up big district wins over the weekend. We'll
W.
also talk about EKU. Tough loss for the Colonels on Saturday. All that and more coming back when we come back on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Whether you're in the market for a brand new Chevrolet, you're looking for a pre-owned quality vehicle, or your family car is in need of service by our GM certified technician, Jack Burford has what you need. Come to Jack Burford Chevrolet in Richmond for all of your automotive needs. Family owned and operated since 1964, Jack Burford Chevrolet is your hometown Chevrolet dealership. Check us out at jackburford.com or come in and see us today. We are located on the EKU bypass across the street from Walmart.
I'm Michelle. And I'm Jennifer. And in the spring of 1992, Bishop Small Engine Repair was born in our mom and dad's barn in Estill County.
Then in the fall of 1992, we made the move to Madison County, where we are today. With the support of our family, customers, and community, we have continued to grow in the outdoor power industry. With a full line of products from Cokedeck, Grasshopper, Echo, and Shindawa, we can help you tackle your yard so you can enjoy it with your family. Bishop Small Engine Repair, where our focus is our customer. Stop on in, 119 North Estill Avenue in Richmond.
We can't wait to see ya.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best margaritas and fajitas in town. Doesn't a huge 32-ounce ice-cold beer sound great? Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
The Beast of the East roars back to life for their 2022 racing season. Most Saturday nights, some Friday nights, and maybe even a Sunday. You can take the whole family down to the Richmond Raceway for some good family fun. Watch the drivers race around the 1,584 feet clay track for some big winnings. Children 10 and under are always admitted free. Richmond Raceway, Greens Crossing off Highway 52 East, and richmondraceway.net. And unleash your inner beast at the Richmond Raceway.
Welcome back in here to the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, live at Jack Burford Chevrolet. Michael Watkins, Samantha Burford, and now across from us, our man Dawson Rhodes.
Yeah,
joining us here
glad to
talk
be
some
here.
Our
football.
man. Our man with all the good videos.
Oh,
down
man,
right
the
where
Jaden West shot was so good. And you've
was
had a couple of
the
Jaden
same
West shots.
spot. He was in that same spot in the LCA game when he caught the game winner. I just had a feeling I'm going to go over there. So that's my lucky spot for the rest of the home playoffs and all that. So I've got some great shots Friday night. It's exciting doing all that.
Madison Central with a big win. Madison Southern with a big win. Berea with a big win. We were there on
that was
Thursday
awesome.
night.
Yeah.
The Pirates, how about this? First district win in 8 years, almost to the day.
Yeah.
They had beat Lynn Camp twice. I think it was 2013, 2014. Then they get the win on Thursday night. And Yamil Cruz was incredible. He earned our CT Diesel Performance. We got some highlights of that game here, the Berea Pirates win. And just really impressive. You know, Cruz has been the go-to guy all year for them. He's having kind of like a year like Hensley had last year for Madison Central, where when you get it to him, it's going to take more than one guy to bring him down. He's so fast as well. And I've said all along, since watching Yamil play for the last couple of years, he could literally pick if any high school in the state would have him as a starting player, whether it's on defense or offense, he's that good. And he showed that again this past Thursday night. A big game for Yamil Cruz. A punt return touchdown, had a couple of rushing scores, and a big win for the Pirates.
They couldn't stop him.
No, they could, and it didn't matter where they gave it to him. I mean, you know, if it was third and long, they handed it off to him. It was going to be a first down. And you got to give credit to Coach Frank Parks. Had a good game plan set in place. Eminence, a team that they hadn't beat ever. So it was historical in two different reasons. First district win in 8 years, and first ever win over Eminence dating back to, I think, 2000 was how long they've been playing against each other.
Yeah. They are having a down year, though, Eminence.
Yes, they are winless on the year.
Yeah.
They've got some talented players.
Doesn't take anything away from
No, it does
Berea,
not.
though.
No, well, I mean, when you hadn't beaten it doesn't matter, you know, if they're winless or not. If you've never beat them, it's hard to get over that hump. So give credit to Berea for coming over that hump. Now, Dawson, what that does is it sets up the Pirates with a chance to host their first tournament or first playoff game, I think, since 2002. It's been a long time. But it's very, very much in their grasp. They will play Frankfort this Friday. If they can beat the Frankfort, they will host a playoff game in the first round of the postseason.
Well, that's really exciting. And before our game Friday night, I was actually talking to Coach Tony Rose, who's down at Berea, and he was feeling pretty confident about his team's chances for this Friday against Frankfort. You know, we talked a little bit about the game last year and kind of left a bad taste in their mouth. You know, they want to get a win now, and now knowing that all they got to do is go get a road win against a district rival to have a home game for the first time in who knows how long. I mean, I think they're really going to be motivated, and that makes me think they have a really good chance of pulling off the win.
Let's hope so, because Frankfurt's always a team that they're competitive with, but always seem to lose.
Yeah.
And Frankfurt's got that history. They are 4-4 this year, so I think it's going to be an exciting game. It might come down to the last minute, you know.
Well, the last 3 times they've played 5 times since 1999. Obviously, the last 3 years being in the same district. Frankfort 40, Berea 8. Frankfort 44, Berea nothing, and Frankfort 34, Berea nothing. So all 3 wins, Frankfort has been able to pull away in those games.
But I feel different this year.
Well, Berea is a much more confident team, and they're a senior-laden team. I think that Coach Parks and Tony Rose has given these guys confidence they can go on the road and win this game. And, you know, you try to compare scores to see just how good of the game might be. Frankfort beat Eminence 28-22. So only a 6-point win. And from what I was told, I talked to Mark Centers, the former Madison Central coach, Eminence, had their quarterback not gotten hurt, probably would have won that game. So Frankfort only beating Eminence by 6. They lost to KCD 55-12. So they got blown out this past week. Berea, on the other hand, a 33-9 loss. Again, that's still not within striking distance, but it's a much closer game in the KCD loss, and they beat Eminence 43-12. So if you look at that, you would think Berea can go over there on the road and get a much-needed victory. But sometimes, Dawson, especially with those smaller schools, sometimes it can be hard to get over the hump.
Yeah, and I was going to say, when you're a small school and you have a player like Cruz and other senior players, sometimes that's what it takes to get over that.
Yeah. And that special class that can get you over that hump, like the boys golf team has had this year at Madison Central. It could take guys like the quarterback Colburn. Some of these wide receivers, Cody Roberts, Joe Collins, who has been incredible this year for Berea. It seems like if there is somebody near Joe Collins, he is going to make the tackle on him.
I don't know. I just really think that Berea is going to be able to go on the road and get a win. And is maybe, I don't know, how long has it been since they've gotten a big road district win for something like that?
Long time.
They're breaking records already.
Since 2014.
Yeah. So with the home, so they're breaking records already. Maybe this is the dream season.
Yeah.
And better to come with Frank Parks and those coaches down there because they're improving Berea every year.
Yeah, I think it is going to be a challenge, though. I think it's going to be close. But now it is in Frankfort. When Berea plays at home, their community shows up in records. They always have a large crowd, which is what they need. And they're going to be all over Cruz.
Oh, yeah.
So
they're going to know.
No secret.
They're going to know.
Yeah.
But there's still some other guys out there that I think can make some big plays, some impact plays. Roberts has been so good.
Yeah. And him making that 2-point conversion, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen that in a while either.
Yeah, the Pirates got a nice win. They'll take on Frankfort this Friday night, 7:30 kickoff. And one thing to keep in mind as well, might not be a huge factor, but Berea also gets one extra day of rest playing on Thursday, whereas Frankfort played on Friday against KCD.
It makes a difference.
Well, you get one extra day to kind of rest up the sore. This time of year, everybody's banged up.
Everybody's sore, if not injured.
Madison Central got a nice win at home against GRC. And the Indians, Dawson, I was a little disappointed they weren't able to put the game away. They got out to an early lead, 14-0, led 21-0 at halftime, and it seemed like, hey, this might be another running clock, might be able to stop this game away. But the Indians could never do that, could never put GRC away. Give the Cardinals credit, but also Madison Central is still kind of, I think, working through some things. This team just getting Brady Hensley back. How much do they want to rely on him? What a great game he had. He earned our CT Diesel Performance
They
of the game.
relied on him.
Hensley this past week, 32 carries, 180 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Jaden West, that catch he had in the corner of the end zone, had 3 catches, 35 yards. Hensley caught a touchdown pass as well. Hagan Harrison played much better. Again, the interception late in the game you don't like to see. But what I do like to see is the defense. And, wow, was that defense incredible on Friday night. They held Maxwell to only 20 yards passing.
Wow.
Yeah.
For a kid that's a really good quarterback at GRC, they bottled him up. They kept him in check in the run game as well because we know he's a dual-threat quarterback. You got to give Coach Blair's defense has been incredible this year. You take away the
all
Pikeville
year
game,
long. Yeah.
and
That's what
they
I wrote
have been
right
insane.
here. Look, all caps, exclamation mark. Central's defense. It was so impressive. You're exactly right. It was fun to watch.
I feel like they kept getting turnover on downs, 4th downs, recovering fumbles. I was, man, this defense is stepping up once again against a good district opponent. GRC's no easy team. They looked like they were see a ghost out there when they were playing Central, especially that first half. And, I thought they were going to blow them out too, but I think the flags in the second half, Central got a lot of flags that just kind of held them back from pulling away.
Untimely flags, too. You'd have a 3rd down stop, and there'd be a hold. Or Madison Central would get a big first down, there'd be a hold. There was a lot of just, kind of quirky flags that were thrown against the Indians. Something that they will have to correct because, no matter how much you argue, the flags were thrown, so you have to clean that up. Defensively, though, Hayden Kaiser led the team 9 tackles. Tavion Kirby played well. Malachi Wood, I felt like he was chasing after the quarterback from GRC all night long. Parker Mullins had 5 tackles and that interception.
Yeah.
They forced a fumble as well. And they had the special teams play where they punted it away and then forced a muff punt and then recovered that.
It was just all night. Special teams, Coach Chapman was happy about that. Defense, and the offense still played pretty well. They may be going a little bit more run-heavy now with Hensley back, but if they don't want to run it, they've got Jaden West. They've got Hagan Harrison who can throw.
And Hensley, they threw it to Hensley. We haven't seen that since middle school.
Yeah, and Brady's had – I remember in the Bryan Station game last year, in the playoff game, he caught that one touchdown up the seam. So Hensley can be kind of that threat but you've got to cover him up in the backfield as well. Brock Eads did a good job of spelling Hensley at times. Brock this past week ran the ball 6 times, 32 yards, had a couple of catches as well. But the Indians, a big win against GRC, setting up the biggest game of the year because of what's at stake.
Right.
Madison Central, Bryan Station. in a game that you can watch right here on WBON TV. Just got the approval for us to air that game live this Friday as we were coming on the air for the sports show. So we will have Madison Central, Bryan Station on WBON TV this Friday night. The winner, a district champion, and the regular season will end in a big way for the Indians if they can go on the road and defeat a team that they beat in the playoffs last year.
Yes.
But Bryan Station has come on as of late, Dawson. They have really started to find themselves, get into a rhythm. And we saw early on in the year, man, this team's 0-3. I would have not have thought that this team would be 0-3. Well, since then, 5 straight wins.
And those 3 losses, of course, the top 15 team in the state across all 1 through 6A. So, yeah, that was expected. That probably was just bad scheduling. They didn't expect all 3 of those teams to be so hot. Scott County was down for a while, and then they finally became good again this year. But, yeah, 5 in a row now. They're looking as good as ever. I think they've still – Central may have passed them in the RPI. I'm not too sure, or in the AP poll, but I know they're pretty much deadlocked right even. So I think this is going to be the best game we've seen all year.
Both are 2-0 in district,
yeah,
right?
both of them 2-0 in district. Right now, Bryan Station a tick behind Madison Central. They are neck and neck. Indians have an RPI of 575.38. Bryan Station an RPI of 563.72. So they are right there together in the RPI standings. A win for Madison Central would obviously catapult that RPI standing and would also give the Indians a district championship in the regular season. And also
game,
would help them give, I think, at least 2 home playoff games in the
That's even
postseason.
better.
Potentially more depending on who is on the other side of that bracket. But you're going to have to face teams like Lafayette, Henry Clay, or Tate's Creek, or Dunbar eventually coming back to Madison Central. So a lot riding on this game this coming Friday night.
Yeah, Dunbar, they gave Central a close game earlier in the season, remember that. But those other 3 teams don't really scare me. I don't know if any of them even have winning records. So take care of business on Friday, and you're looking good for the first couple rounds of the playoffs. It doesn't matter who you play in the playoffs, but every game's important. So you want to get those easy teams.
Yeah, and you want it to be at home. That's the big thing, and that's why this week's game is so important. Madison
here's the
Central,
other thing,
Bryan
too,
Station.
They had some O-line out, correct?
Yeah, they've had O-line out a lot.
They had like 2 or 3 O-line guys, starters, out this past week. So you got some inexperienced players who got to step up. They played well. So now they've got experience. You might get some of your O-line back. You can put them both in, and they've all got the experience.
And that's
so
one
it's going to come into fruition for this game.
I think that's one thing that's been so impressive, even on defense. Every single week, I'm seeing a new person's name on Friday night.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, where did this kid come from? And they're making impact plays. I think that's also really impressive with Coach Blair, what Coach Holcomb were able to do with some of these younger guys coming up and making big
Pope
plays.
and Kirby.
Yeah. They've had a lot of different guys step up. Speaking of stepping up and the offensive line playing well, your offensive line has got to play really well if you rush for 470 yards, and that's exactly what Madison Southern did on Friday in a beatdown of West Jessamine, 470, and it wasn't just one guy. Wasn't just 2 guys. Several guys piling up the stats for the Eagles. Juan Rodriguez and Stephen Whitehead, the 2 main guys getting over 100 yards. But you had some big games from Etheridge had a big game. Cade Sullivan had a big game. And a really impressive win for the Eagles as they get another district victory. Now 2 wins, 2 losses in district play, and that means they will secure themselves a spot in the postseason.
So if they win, they're off this next week. If they beat Franklin County, that gets them the home game, correct?
No, Franklin's not in the district. They're not in the district. They're not a district team.
Okay.
Yeah, so their district games are over with. It all depends. I believe the Eagles would be the 4th seed as of right now, sending them to Woodford County in the first round. Or they would actually be the 3. So they're going to be the 3 seed playing at Collins. Either East Jessamine or West Jessamine. Let's see who won that game between those 2 schools. Looks like West Jessamine would be the 4th seed. They would play Woodford County. So the Eagles, the 3 seed, they'll be on the road at Collins, and that game was just a few weeks ago.
Southwestern, I think, is who they end up playing.
No, so they're not in the same district.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the teams
whoever
in that
beats
district
Okay.
are Central or Southern,
Woodford, Collins, East
and
Jessamine, West.
Jessamine. Yeah,
East
so,
and West, got it.
Yeah, so the other side, so they would play District 8, which it might be, so you're right, it is Southwestern. So
Yeah, because the crossover this year, right?
Oh. Yeah, and Southwestern's still undefeated. They're in the same class or the same district as North Whitley County and South Laurel. So it'll be a tough matchup. Southwestern is undefeated, so I don't think it'll be them per se, but it will be this number 2 seed in that district, which would be either Whitley County, South Laurel, or North Laurel.
And Southern would play away.
Yeah, Southern would play on the road.
Definitely.
Okay, well, hey, South Laurel, I don't think they've gotten a win this year, so that could start a good catapult run for the Southern Eagles this year if they get
good
them.
First game.
Yeah, you look on the other side, North Laurel is right there as well. They only have, they've lost a couple of games in a row, so it's going to be, it looks like it'll be North Laurel as who the Eagles will face in that first round. So still a chance to go on the road and get a much-needed victory, but they get the off week. They'll play against Franklin County that final game of the season. So a chance to kind of build yourself up toward the postseason. And the way they're running the football right now, the quarterback situation is a little bit still, kind of up in the air when you've got Jackson Chambers now playing some.
And
Woods is back in there at quarterback as well. So they're kind of going back and forth. But they've got a ton of options in the backfield. When you have that many weapons, and we've talked about it over the last month or so, it's almost hard to get everybody the football. Sullivan, Rodriguez, Whitehead, Etheridge, the wide receivers, Moore and Woods. They've got so many weapons. It's like, who do we draw a play up for? Obviously, when you play West Jessamine and you have 470 rushing yards, everybody can kind of get in on the act. But the Eagles, I think, are trending in the right direction right now to make some noise in the postseason.
I really hope they can. First year, not a lot of high expectations for postseason, and they've only got a few wins, but some things are falling into place for them, and they can make a run. If they can get that much momentum for their first year head coach Mark Payne, I mean, Southern could explode, especially next year, but we still want to see what happens this year. Obviously, I don't think it's in their hands. I think some other things have to happen, but hopefully they do.
I think having this week off, having a bye week, is perfect timing for them.
Yeah.
With him being a new coach, he knows what he's doing, obviously, but I think it's good. It's giving them extra time to get ready for Franklin County, but they got to also be preparing for the next week's game. So
Madison Southern a bye week this week. Franklin County the final game of the season, and it'll be a fun couple of weeks for Eagles fans as they get ready for the postseason. We'll take another commercial break. When we come back, EKU a tough home loss this past this past Saturday at home against Sam Houston State. And the Twitter birds are out there again, Dawson.
Yep, they're out.
Calling for some coaching changes within the ranks. EKU, a lot of fans in the crowd over the last few home games. So I don't think that's the issue, but we'll talk about that when we come back. Colonels are the next topic here live on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills. When you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Whether you're in the market for a brand new Chevrolet, you're looking for a pre-owned quality vehicle, or your family car is in need of service by our GM certified technician, Jack Burford has what you need. Come to Jack Burford Chevrolet in Richmond for all of your automotive needs. Family owned and operated since 1964, Jack Burford Chevrolet is your hometown Chevrolet dealership. Check us out at jackburford.com or come in and see us today. We are located on the EKU bypass across the street from Walmart.
I'm Michelle. And I'm Jennifer. And in the spring of 1992, Bishop's Small Engine Repair was born in our mom and dad's barn in Estill County.
Then in the fall of 1992, we made the move to Madison County, where we are today. With the support of our family, customers, and community, we have continued to grow in the outdoor power industry. With a full line of products from Coconut, Grasshopper, Echo, and Shindawa, we can help you tackle your yard so you can enjoy it with your family. Bishop's Small Engine Repair, where our focus is our customer. Stop on in, 119 Northwest Avenue in Richmond. We can't wait to see you.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best margaritas and fajitas in town. Doesn't a huge 32-ounce ice-cold beer sound great? Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
The Beast of the East roars back to life for their 2022 racing season. Most Saturday nights, some Friday nights, and maybe even a Sunday. You can take the whole family down to the Richmond Raceway for some good family fun. Watch the drivers race around the 1,584 feet clay track for some big winnings. Children 10 and under are always admitted free. Richmond Raceway, Greens Crossing off Highway 52 East, and richmondraceway.net. And unleash your inner beast at the Richmond Raceway.
Back here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Appreciate you joining us here live at Jack Burford Chevrolet. And
it's kind of weird. We're talking basketball.
It is basketball, yeah. Basketball,
We're
EKU going
basketball.
on as well. But let's talk about our great sponsors, though, as well. Jack Burford Chevrolet right here on the bypass in Richmond across from Walmart. Get online, folks, jackburford.com, and see the entire inventory, all the SUVs, all the new trucks out there on the lot right here at Jack Burford Chevrolet. Also, the law office of Patrick O'Neill. If you need help with legal advice, workers' compensation, criminal defense cases, whatever the case may be sure to check out the law office of Patrick O'Neill, located in Breathitt County, but he serves all over central and eastern Kentucky. Also, Bishop Small Engine Repair. It's that time. Mower's about to go up for the winter months. Get on over to Bishop's if it's time for a new mower. Christmas time right around the corner. Samantha, if you want to buy me one of those zero-turn mowers, I would greatly appreciate it.
Get right on that.
John said that he would approve that in the budget for you, and would be a good time to get one of those over at Bishop Small Engine Repair. And also Richmond Raceway, one of our great sponsors as well. Still plenty of time to get out to Richmond Raceway. Check them out on Facebook.
Those
and
are always
Nuevo.
fun.
Nuevo. I'm thinking
That
about getting
place
some
is
Nuevo
definitely
after
fun.
the show tonight. I'm
Can
hungry
I come
right
with
now.
you? I'm hungry.
If you buy, we'll get it. I'll set it up.
Well, never mind.
You know,
I'm still hungry,
He
though.
usually says that.
Dawson, we were down at EKU on Saturday when the Colonels lost to Sam Houston.
Yeah.
A tough loss. You know, they had to come from behind, take the lead late. You give up kind of the crazy play at the end of the game where you lose 25-17. After the game, Coach Wells, listen, we know he's an emotional man. He cares about his team, cares about his players, was arguing with the officials after the game, and it kind of became a bigger deal on social media. I want that from my coach, first of all.
Who doesn't want that?
You want your coach to fight for you. You want your coach to be there for you. And I think that's all it was on Saturday, was just Coach Wells fighting for his guys. Didn't get, and that's the second time in a row at home the Colonels have gotten some weird calls that didn't go their way when you're the home team. Not saying you should get every call if you're the home team, but you know, a couple of weeks ago they had the flag that was thrown, then waved off, and not even an explanation was given to Coach Wells. This past weekend, kind of a similar situation. Just didn't like what he was being told. Right. So just a little upset about what happened there.
And it's in such a big game, you know, you're kind of frustrated right after it ends to lose. You know, they were so close to beating Sam Houston, which would have been a really big resume win, but they hung around with them. But the flag, it was a little iffy when you go back and look at it. It's not like he hit the ref. I mean, he just ran up to him, gave him an earful, just like every other football coach does all around America. You know, he may have had some choice words, but I mean, hey, what are you going to do? It's a football, you know. That's what you do.
So that's what happens on Twitter.
Yeah. And listen, it's always cool,
though?
too, when you have the name hidden. Nobody knows who it is.
Yeah.
That could be John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith, and nobody knows it's going to be me or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So.
But I could tell you who isn't happy that he was out there yelling at the refs and got his blood pressure up.
Oh, the wife.
Yes, his wife and probably his neurologist.
Doctor. Yeah. I mean, listen, Coach Wells is a fiery guy.
I said neurologist, but cardiologist.
Well, I think they got the issue taken care of. That that when he had the heart attack, he's healthy.
But his wife is like, calm down, don't be doing that. Don't do that. You're going to give her a heart attack.
And one of the big topics of discussion on the tailgate show was, EKU trying to move up into the FBS. They've had discussion with Conference USA. I think that was an option. They were trying to explore that. The MAC conference is an option, I think, as well.
Well, Western's not going to let them get into the other
That
conference,
is the thing.
So you got to
Western's
choose.
trying.
Do you
I
wait?
think it's a perfect fit, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Western's
to bring
trying
back,
to get out of that conference.
And it brings back their rivalry right now. I mean, why would you not want EKU, WKU? I said this on Saturday. Think about that game. Half of Richmond that supports Eastern is going to go down there, and the same for up here.
Yeah.
It is a win-win situation for both programs at least once a year to have that game and for it to mean something in a conference atmosphere. It just seems like a no-brainer to me. I have no idea why Western would be blocking that move.
I don't either, because I think it's a moneymaker for both schools.
Yeah.
And over the past how many years, you'll know the stats more than me, has Eastern won or Western won?
Yeah, it's been a long time since they played. It's not been it's not been that often that they play anymore. So, I think the Colonels are still going to be exploring that. And whether you think the ASUN move was good or not, listen, if you're not trying to better yourself, what are you doing? That's what we talked about on Saturday as well. You want to be moving your program, your life, your career, whatever the case may be, into a better direction. Yep. If an FBS move does that, it's a no-brainer for EKU.
I feel like maybe some fans are mad about the OVC leave because of all the history there, and that's fine. But, you got to improve all the time. And then the people calling out Coach Wells, that was just frustrated me. How are you going to get mad and want to coach fired just because of that? He didn't do anything wrong. I just can't believe that.
The man has dealt with COVID. He's dealt with the transfer portal. All these things were thrown at him that he didn't have at first. So he's navigated everything quite well, and he's gotten this program in the direction where these things are even an option for us to move up. So I think it's very important for EKU to be able to do this, and I think that eventually that move will happen. We'll see when that move does happen. We'll be sure to be there and get you all the details on it.
A.D. Roan.
Yeah.
Lay it on us. What's happening?
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Before we wrap up the show tonight, basketball season happened on over the weekend. It's officially basketball season now as the teams can begin practice on October 15th. I was thinking about some of the players I'm excited to see this year. Obviously, some movement around the district and region with some coaches moving out. But there's a lot of really good talent here in Madison County on the basketball court.
I like Southern's team this year a lot. They got a lot of talent come back. Central's team's got a lot of talent come back. You're adding in Hagan Harrison, who didn't get to play last year. Word on the street is, but everyone knows this, basketball is his best sport, but everyone's saying, man, you just got to wait and see him out on the basketball court this year. Okay, well, so there's going to be a lot of good basketball here in Madison County.
Yeah, individually, I think Harrison will be. I'm excited to see the leap for Jalen Davis. Year 2 to year 3 was there. Now he becomes the guy. He's more athletic now. He's gotten stronger. He's kind of made that leap, I think, that Cole Brown made between his junior and senior years, becoming more of a ball handler and a leader. Looking forward to see him out there on the basketball court. And, Madison Southern, Jay Rose, can he continue to do what he did last year? Taking the region by storm, top scorer in the 11th region. Kishab Bendari, the point guard for Model. Man, he had some incredible games. I feel like when we showed up, Bondari showed out.
Yeah.
And he had some big games last year for the Patriots. And then for Berea was a young team last year. Cam Wilson, Ballou, some of these guys. I'm excited to see how they all come together in another year and moving in the right direction as well.
And with those Model and Berea, smaller schools, some years you can have really good years, and other years you may have a class that's a little bit weaker, not as many guys, so you can be down. So maybe this class for Berea is a more talented one now that they've had an extra year. We'll see.
Well, and Model is going to be senior-led.
Yeah.
They've got 4 seniors. So that's super exciting. And then Madison Southern girls, they've got 7 seniors.
Yeah, they're going to
be fantastic. So I'm super excited.
I'm excited to see some of the players that have been injured. E-Step's coming back.
Yeah.
You had the girl from the Richmond Heat that's coming back this year. She's been hurt every year of her basketball career. So to take that next step for her and now be a part of this team, Hadley French becoming more of a high school player. She still made that transition last year.
She was in 8th grade.
As a freshman. Yeah, what can we get from her?
So now she's going to be sophomore?
Yeah, taking
Okay.
that next step.
Yeah.
And I think she's got a chance to be really good and down the line be a person that maybe challenges that Samantha
Yeah.
Cornelison.
Stepping into her role.
Exactly. So a lot of really good individual talent. And then Madison Central, they have been
With a new
kind of
coach.
moving in the right direction for so long.
Yeah.
Now I think we're finally going to see it all come together for them. Bailey Hensley, the Campbell twins. You've got Coach True coming in to lead that program. They've got a really good chance of being a very good basketball team, and possibly, now that Franklin County is gone, we could see, now this is just my opinion, obviously being here, we want to see our teams do good. We could see a Central Southern Region Championship matchup potentially with both boys and girls. I would
And
love
you got
to
the
see
senior
that.
Chloe Freeman, so
Yeah.
the three-point
Shooting,
shooter.
yeah.
So, yeah.
And
I think it'll be exciting.
An exciting time to be a sports fan.
It's basketball time.
I'm so excited.
Exciting time to
Can't
be
wait.
a sports fan here in the county, folks. We
Yes.
appreciate you joining us here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. We'll see you next Monday.